Hello, folks. This is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on March 14th, 2018. If you want to get my game, Decoding the Powerball, then please go to my website at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. I have 7 strategies with my game, Decoding the Powerball. So strategy number 1, the game card color code. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, the reason why I make them is to show you on how to use my game. Okay, so there is a bit of a learning curve. Okay, so what you're looking at is what I call the game card. This represents all 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. I really don't have anything for the Powerball itself. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct and win the $2 million prize with the Power Play option. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage, and the 5 white winning numbers that just came up were the 43, 44, 54, 61, and 69. Again, I really don't care about the red ball. Okay, so what I do is I take those 5 white winning numbers and I put it at the top of this list, and then I take the last 3 drawings of numbers and I transfer these numbers over to the game card as red numbers. Then I'll do the same thing with orange, green, blue, and purple. I have 5 different colors, one to represent each one of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So for this drawing here, I have 13 red numbers, 15 orange, 12 green, 18 blue, and 11 purple numbers. Okay, and the number of colors change with every single drawing. Okay, so over to the right is 210. This represents how many color code drawings I kept track of so far, and these are the color code drawings. Okay, so out of this 210 drawings, 113 have come up a 3-color combination. 74 drawings have come up a 4-color combination. 19 drawings have come up a 2-color combination, and only 4 times out of 210 drawings have all 5 colors come up together. And never has it been just one drawing. Okay, so this number right here, this tells me how many colors just came up in the last drawing. So you can see that this is a 5. All right, so you can see that each of the 5 colors came up in the last drawing, which hardly ever happens. Okay, but once in a while it does. Okay, so I don't think that all 5 will come up again in a row. All right, so the strategy is try to guess which one of these colors won't be coming up. Okay, so again, all 5 colors hardly ever come up. Okay, so for this drawing here, I'm going to guess that no purple numbers will be coming up. Okay, so we're all going to look at this a little bit different. Okay, but for me, I just kind of noticed that purple doesn't come up all that much. All right, so the last 2 drawings that came up, and then it missed right here, okay? And then I had 3 drawings in a row that I came up. So I just think that it's due to miss right here. So again, I don't think that any purple numbers will be coming up in the drawing, so I want to get rid of them. So I'm going to eliminate these purple numbers off of the game card. Okay, so to speed things up, I'm going to scroll to the right. Okay, so this is what the game card looks like so far with no purple numbers to it. Okay, so when I block out a number like this means that I'm not even going to consider this number when I'm picking what I think will be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm betting $3, okay, that none of these purple numbers will come up. Okay, so if I'm correct with my bet and none of these purple numbers come up, then I'm one step closer to that $2 million prize. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. Strategy number 2, the individual numbers. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers. Okay, and how this works is up at the very top is the master for each individual number. Okay, and how I use this is I could go down. Okay, I could highlight a certain number, all right, like the 64, and I could go down to see what colors it has been from the color code. Okay, so If I'm serious about picking the 54 here, again, I could check out what colors, and let's say it hasn't. Let's say it's in the orange area, okay, and it hasn't been orange in a long time. So maybe I'll consider this 64 just because it's in the orange area and it hasn't been there for a while. Okay, so over here to the right. These are the numbers that just came up in the last drawing. Again, it was 43, 44, 54, 61, and 69. Okay, so that turns out to be a 3-group combination. Okay, so I'm going to reduce this down so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so what you're going to see here is that there's 7 groups here. Okay, so group number 1 holds the numbers of 1 through 9. And then it's the teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Again, for 7 groups total. Okay, so there's only 5 winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so 2 of these groups won't be able to have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to guess which one of these groups won't have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so how I use this is you can see this big square. This is good for 5 drawings. Okay, so I like to break things down into 5 because for a couple reasons. If I want to go back into history, I know that this is 5, so I could go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, just real quick. Okay, so another reason why I do this is because my theory is that if there's a lot of hits within these 5 drawings for a certain group of numbers, well, maybe there won't be so many hits for the next 5 drawings. Okay, so I kind of like to break it up like that. All right, so for this drawing here, again, my strategy is to eliminate numbers. Okay, so I don't think any 30 numbers will be coming up, just because there's been a 30 number in the last 7 drawings here. Okay, so it missed the last drawing, and I just think that it's going to miss this drawing as well. Okay, so again, I'm going to eliminate the 30 numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to blow this back up. And another way I use this game, the individual numbers, is I try to guess what this number is going to be next. Okay, so for me, again, we're all going to look at this a little bit different and make different guesses. But for me, I think that this is going to be a 5. Okay, so when I'm picking what I think will be the 5 winning Powerball numbers, I want it to represent 5 of these groups. Okay, so again, I'm off to the game card. I'm going to scroll to the right. And this is what the game card looks like so far, with no purple numbers from the color code, and now no 30 numbers from the individual numbers. Okay, so again, what I'm doing is I'm betting $3 that none of those purple numbers will come up in the color code, and now I'm going to parlay that bet with saying that no 30 numbers will come up from the individual numbers. Okay, so it's either parlay or add. I'm going to add to that bet. Okay, so I'm going to make a bunch of add-ons here for that $3. Okay, so the overall strategy is this. Okay, so again, there's 69 numbers total. Okay, only 5 numbers can come up as winners. All right, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. Okay, so the overall strategy is I just believe that it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually come up. Okay, so again, the overall strategy is to reduce the numbers. Okay, the more numbers that the less numbers that you have to choose from, the better odds that you'll have. Okay, so it's kind of a simple strategy. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy here, and that's strategy number 3, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 1 numbers. Okay, so how this works is I divided the white ball numbers into 4 different groups, okay, and I put colors to these groups. So when the Powerball numbers come up, I record where they land within these 4 groups, okay, down here in the stats. So again, this red area represents the red numbers. The blue represents the blue numbers, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the Powerball homepage, and the 5 white winning numbers that came up were the 43, 44, 54, 61, and 69. Okay, so the 43 and 44 are here in the orange. So I have a 2 in the orange area. Okay, and then the 54, 61, and 69 are all here in the green. So I have a 3 in this green area. Okay, so you can see that no winning Powerballs came up in the red area and no winning Powerballs came up in the blue area. Okay, so the strategy is try to guess where these zeros are going to pop up. Okay, so if I could have correctly guessed that none of these red numbers were going to come up in the last drawing, I could have eliminated all these numbers and really reduced my odds. Okay, so that's the name of the game, is have better odds. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example on how I pick. Okay, so I have 15 of these option cards, and they all kind of look the same, where I use all the same colors of red, blue, orange, and green. Okay, it's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each different option card. Okay, so over here, option card number 2, you can see that the red numbers go up and down, and over here, option card number 1 is for this whole square right here. Okay, so another way I use this. Okay, so let's decide. I decided to get rid of this whole square. All right, so I'm going to get rid of all these numbers as a group. Okay, and within this group of numbers, you can see that there's a 65 here and a 67 where the 19 should be. So the 19 and the 67 actually share this square. Okay, so again, what that means is if I decide to get rid of this square of red numbers, then I'm going to get rid of the 19 and the 67 as a group. Okay, so as I go back to the game card, you can see that these numbers are off to the side. All right, so the 19 again shares the square with the 67. Okay, so the reason why I don't have this 19 crammed in here with the 67 is because of the color code. Okay, so another one here is the 25 shares the square with the 65. Okay, so you can see that the 25 is red and the 65 is orange. Okay, so that's why I need some separation. Okay, but again, if I decide to get rid of this whole square, I'm going to get rid of the 65 and the 25 as a group. Okay, so as I go back to group 1, my first pick out of these 15 option cards is option card number 2, no red numbers. Okay, so the reason why I'm picking this one, and again, we're all going to look at this a little bit different. Okay, so you can see that there's 2 orange, there's 2 blue spots here, and blue means that it's a miss. Okay, so you can see the zeros there. Okay, so as I head down through the history of things, you can see that sometimes these zeros double or quadruple up. Okay, so that usually happens with all of them here. Okay, so with this one right here, is you can see that there's no triple zeros yet in this column. Okay, so as I look at the other columns, you can see that there's triple zeros here. You can see that there's triple, quadruple over here, triple over here, triple over here. Okay, so most columns already have a triple zero. Okay, and again, this red column has never had a triple zero before. Okay, and it has a good opportunity to do it right now. Okay, so I just think that that's going to happen. So I'm going to eliminate these red numbers off of the game card, okay? Just because I don't believe that they're going to come up, all right? So again, the overall strategy is to eliminate numbers, okay? So this helps me to remove those numbers off the game card. Okay, so again, I'm going to go back to the game card. I'm going to scroll to the right. And this is what the game card looks like so far. And you can see that all those numbers are gone here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 1. And my next pick is option card number 11, no orange numbers. So again, I have 15 of these option cards, and you can see that they all kind of look the same down here as far as red, blue, orange, and green. Okay, so as I go down, again, option card number 11 right here, I don't believe that any orange numbers are going to come up. Okay, so the reason why I'm picking this one is because you can see this row. I put that row there when all 4 groups hit. Okay, so when they're all red like that, I call it a row. And that helps stand out. Okay, so when I see a row, I know that all 4 of these have hit. Okay, so here, I don't think that there's going to be another row right here, so I think that one of them is going to miss. And the one that's obvious to me is just the orange because it has so many hits in a row. It hit 10 drawings in a row, so I just think that this one would probably be the best bet to miss. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate all these orange numbers off of the game card, just because I don't believe that they're going to come up in the next drawing. Okay, so I'll go back to the game card. I'm going to scroll to the right. And this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so I want to show you step by step, all right, on how I do things. And, you know, if you disagree with me on the pick here, okay, if you look at this and you say, no, I think that you're wrong, I think a number will come up, then now it's your job to say, okay, which number is it going to be? All right, so the other option cards here will hopefully help you narrow things down on what number it would actually come up. Okay, so one more pick that I'm going to make in group 1 is option card number 14, no blue numbers. Okay, so here you can see that there's a single 0, and sometimes they double up or even triple up. Okay, and here there's just a bunch of single zeros. All right, so I just think that it's a good opportunity to double up, like right here. Okay, so again, I think there's going to be a 0 right here, so that means I don't believe that any of these blue numbers are going to come up in a lottery, so I'm going to take them off the game card. So again, I'm going to scroll to the right. And this is what the game card looks like so far without those blue numbers to it. Okay, so hopefully I made the correct picks there and none of those numbers come up. Okay, so the key word here is if. If I made all the correct picks, then the 5 white winning Powerball numbers have to be within one of these numbers that are still left on the board. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. Strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 2. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 2 numbers. So much like group 1, where I divided things into 4 different groups, here I divided things into 8 different groups. Okay, so again, there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so 3 of these groups won't be able to have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to guess which one of these groups won't have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so how this works is I'm going to blow this up just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to point out this red area right here. Okay, so again, you got 8 squares. Okay, 4 up here, 4 down here, but there's actually 9 numbers here because the 25 and the 65 share this square. Okay, so how this works is these are the stats for it down here. So I like to keep a track record of every 5 drawings. Okay, and the reason why is because it will show me a majority. Okay, so here you can see that there's 3 zeros. Okay, so 0, if there's 3 or more zeros, I color this blue for cold. If there's 3 or more hits, I color red for hot. Okay, so what this 5 is right here, this tells me how many red numbers are here. Okay, so that's what that stands for. All right, and over here is how many rows there are. Okay, so as I go down for this red area, you can see that things get really hot. Okay, and sometimes they cool off. So my theory is that nothing can stay hot and nothing can stay cold forever because this is so random. Okay, the lottery is so random that these 9 numbers just can't stay hot forever. Okay, so when I see something like this where it's just been really, really hot, those numbers have been just really, really hot, well, eventually they're going to cool down and there's going to be a bunch of zeros here. Okay, so that's the whole theory. So my first pick here, there's 15 option cards as well, and they all kind of look the same as far as red, blue, orange, green, purple, brown, gray, yellow. I used the same colors for each of the 15 option cards. Okay, so over here in option card number 2, you can see that the yellow numbers in option card number 1 go up and down, and over here number 2 they go side to side. Okay, so they all kind of look the same as far as down here, but the numbers that they represent are just a little bit different from each other from each different option card. Okay, so again, I'm going to pick that option card number 2 will have no yellow numbers to it. So I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. Okay, so here's the stats for the yellow. And as I go down through, you can see that things have been really, really hot. Okay, so because things can't stay hot forever, I just think that this is going to start cooling off. And I think there's going to be a 0 right here. Okay, so if there's a 0 there, that means that none of these yellow numbers can come up. Okay, so I'm going to go to the game card and eliminate those yellow numbers off of the game card. Okay, so you can see right here, the 60, 61, 62, 64. So I'm going to scroll down. And down here, you can see group 2, option card number 2, no yellow numbers. And you can see that all the yellow numbers are gone. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 2, and my next pick is going to be option card number 3, no brown numbers. Okay, so again, I know that for each of these option cards, there's going to be 3 of these colors that won't be able to have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so again, it's just a matter of which one is it going to be. Okay, so I recommend that you just pick one of these and move on to the next option card. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to guess that no brown numbers will be coming up. Okay, so here's the stats for the brown. And as I head down through, you can see that things got pretty hot here. Okay, so I'm just going to guess that there's going to be a 0 right here. So I'm going to eliminate these brown numbers, okay, the 5 and the 34 here. Okay, so the only one that's left is this 5 and the 29, so I'm going to scroll to the left. Okay, and you can see that the 5 and the 29 are gone now, okay, just because I don't believe that they're going to come up in the lottery. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 2, and my next pick is going to be option card number 6, no red numbers. Okay, so here's the stats for the red, and as I head down through, you can see that things got really hot, and they kind of got hot down here, and I just think that there's going to be a 0 right here. Okay, so I don't believe that any of these red numbers are going to come up, so I want to get rid of them. Okay, so the only one that's left is the 12 and the 28. Okay, so I'm going to scroll to the left. And you can see that the 12 and the 28 are gone. Okay, so I'm getting the numbers down here. Okay, so hopefully I made all the correct picks. All right, so I'm going to go back to group 2. And my next pick is option card number 8, no purple numbers. Okay, so here's option card number 8. Here's the stats for the purple. And as I head down through, you can see that things have kind of been 50-50, but kind of got hot right here. But I just think there's going to be a 0 right here. So I'm going to eliminate these purple numbers off of the game card because I don't believe that they're going to be coming up in the lottery. Okay, so again, I'm going to scroll to the left, I mean. And this is what the game card looks like so far. All right, so back to group 2. And I'm going to go to option card number 10. And I believe that no gray numbers will be coming up. So here's the stats for the gray. And as I head down through, you can see that things have been pretty hot. And now I think that there's going to be a 0 right here. Okay, so again, I want to get rid of all the gray numbers. and it's the 1728 pattern in all 4 squares. Okay, so the only one that's here is the 69, okay, but it shares the square with the 53, so I'm going to get rid of both the 53 and the 69 on this one. Okay, so you can see that they're both gone now. All right, so I'm going to go back, and my next one is option card number 11, no blue numbers. Okay, so here's the stats for the blue, and as I head down through, things got a little bit hot right here, and now I think there's going to be a 0 right here, so I'm going to eliminate the blue numbers that are left on the game card, and I believe that the only one left is the 7. Okay, or the 15, I'm sorry. So I'm going to scroll down, and you can see that that 15 is gone. Okay, so one last pick, and that's option card 14, no red numbers. Okay, so here's the stats for the red, and as I head down through, you can see that things have gotten pretty hot, now cold, and now I just think that it's going to stay cold. So I think there's going to be a 0 right here. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate all these red numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I think the only one left is like the 11 and the 46, I do believe. Okay, the 11 and the 46. So as I scroll to the right, you can see that those numbers are gone. Okay, so that just leaves me with 5 numbers. All right, and that's what I want. So the 5 numbers that I think are going to come up in the next drawing is going to be the 4, 40, 43, 48, and 56. Okay, so that's how I use my game. All right, so again, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the actual 5 that do. All right, so we'll see what happens. All right, so again, if you want to get my strategy here, okay, what I'm looking to do is build a community where people share their picks using my game/system. Okay, so if you're interested in using my game and would like to meet others using the game to share picks, then please go to my website at www.patreon.com/decoding the Powerball. Okay, so if you'd like to send me any feedback, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Again, that's decodingpowerball@gmail.com. All right, folks, the jackpot is getting huge, so I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.